Welcome to Up Next, your weekly ritual where we talk about creativity, courage, community, and the stories that shape who we are. You are listening to TMC 105.1, the most Cebu radio. This is a space for conversations about the journey, not just the successes, not just the achievements, but the process, the doubts, the quiet decisions, and the moments that change us. For some of us, what we do is not just a career. Sometimes what we do becomes a way to serve. Sometimes what we create becomes a place where other people can heal, grow, and belong. And that is what Up Next has always been about. People who build, people who create, people who choose to give more than what is expected. People who understand that success is not only measured by titles, awards, or recognition, but by the number of lives we quietly change along the way. Today's conversation is about something very close to my heart: art, community, and healing. We often think about healing something that happens only in hospitals, clinics, in therapy rooms, in places where people go when something is broken. But do you know that healing also happens in rehearsal rooms? It happens on stage. It happens when people sing together, create together, tell stories together, and realize that they are not alone. And sometimes healing happens in places where people are simply allowed to be themselves. Today, we're going to talk about someone who lives in both worlds: the world of medicine and the world of the arts, science and story, diagnosis and expression, treatment and community. Healing does not only come from medicine. Sometimes healing comes from music, from the theater, from being seen, from being heard, from being part of something bigger than yourself. And maybe that is what we will be talking about today. It's not just how to heal people, but how to heal communities. Welcome to Up Next. I am Sarah Henderson. Let's begin. First, I'd like to talk about healing, the idea of healing. When we hear the word healing, we usually think about illness and recovery, and we think about fixing something that is wrong. But as I grow older, I'm beginning to realize that healing is not always about curing something. Sometimes it is about being heard. Healing is about being understood, and sometimes healing is about finding a place where you belong. Sometimes healing is about telling your story and then discovering that your story matters. This is where art comes in. Theater has always been a place where people tell stories that are sometimes too difficult to say in real life. Music has always been a place where people express emotions that are sometimes too deep for words. And when people act, they are not just pretending. When people sing, they are not just performing. When people dance, they are not just moving. They are expressing something inside them that needs to be expressed. When people create something together, a play, a song, a performance, a workshop, a community project, something powerful happens. Strangers become friends. Shy people become confident. Quiet people find their voice. Lost people find direction. And people who feel alone suddenly realize they are no longer alone. That is why I believe that the arts are not just entertainment. The arts are not just hobbies, not just extracurricular activities. They are spaces where people grow, spaces where people discover who they are. The arts are spaces where people learn to listen, to collaborate, to lead, to follow, to fail, and then to try again. The arts are spaces where people become better humans. When you bring art into communities, especially communities that are struggling, communities that feel unheard, communities that feel forgotten, art becomes something even more powerful. It becomes a bridge, a voice, a safe space, a way for people to see themselves differently. I've seen this happen many times. I've seen young people who were once very shy suddenly stand on stage and speak with confidence. And I've seen people who did not believe in themselves suddenly discover that they can create something beautiful. I have seen communities come together because of a play, a concert, a workshop, or a simple performance. And in those moments, you realize that something bigger is happening. You realize that this is not just theater, this is not just music, this is not just performance. This is community building, confidence building, leadership training, storytelling. This is healing. And that is why I'm always very inspired by people who do not limit themselves to just one field. People who are doctors, but also artists, people who are business leaders, but also musicians, people who are teachers, but also performers, people who understand that human beings are not just one thing. We are not just our profession. We are not just our titles. We are not just our resumes. We are combinations of many things: skills, passions, experiences, failures, dreams, advocacies, communities, and stories. And the most inspiring people for me are those who use everything they are to help other people grow. Not just to succeed, not just to earn, not just to achieve, but to serve, to build, to create spaces for others. Because at the end of the day, I think the real question is not what do you do, but rather who are you helping? What are you building? What will remain because you were here? And maybe that is what today's conversation is about. Not just medicine, not just theater, not just music, but using what you have, what you know, and what you love to build something that helps other people live better lives. Success is good. Achievement is good. Recognition is good. But building people, building communities, creating spaces where people can grow, heal, and belong, that is a different kind of success. And maybe that is the kind of success that truly matters. So our guest for today is a doctor by profession, but her work goes far beyond the clinic and the hospital. She is someone who understands that healing is not only physical, but also emotional, social, and communal. She is a member of the Tutankhamun's Theater Company, where she uses theater and music as tools for expression, education, and community building. She is also a member of JCI Zugbuana, where leadership and service are at the core of what she does. What I admire most about her is that she did not choose between science and art, between medicine and theater, between profession and passion. Instead, she found a way to bring them together, and in doing so, she found a way to serve more people and build stronger communities. She's someone who reminds us that the most meaningful work doesn't really happen inside our job descriptions, but in the spaces where our skills, our passions, and our heart is there for service to be met. Up next, Dr. Judy Crisel Ralios. Hi, Judy.
Hello, Miss Sarah. Thank you for having me here.
How are you? My God.
I am good.
I feel so honored that you're here, considering you're such a busy lady. You know, you tend to so many people, and we're talking on both sides, the medicine. Oh, no, it's not even just two sides. We're talking about
maybe
so
three.
Many. Yeah, we're talking about at least three. So you're talking about, as a doctor, and then as a theater artist, and then as
Also in community service. Yes.
community service. And when people hear that you're a doctor who's also deeply involved in theater and music, how do you usually describe what you do? You know?
How do I describe what
Yes.
I do? I mean, I describe it as it is, of course, but I think growing up, it used to be a joke among my best friends and I, but they sort of knew that I would be in this certain field eventually. And so they would call me, so that's Judy, doctor by day and Disney princess by night.
And you are a Disney princess by night.
In a way, yes.
And someone's even saying our all-around princess. That's Kay Omega Suarez or Shanice. Hi, Shanice. Thanks
Hello,
for joining us.
Shanice.
And hi to Charlene as well. Charlene Verlove. Thank you very much for listening in. So now, you call yourself the doctor by day and Disney princess by night. Has there always been a time where you almost didn't make it to becoming a doctor because you'd rather be the Disney princess?
I mean, definitely. Growing up, well, first of all, I grew up being surrounded by music, especially Disney and musicals. Everyone in my family loves Disney, so we all watched musicals and all these Disney princesses together. But at the same time, I grew up in a quite traditional Asian or Filipino household where you're expected to choose a safe career choice.
And do you think that being the doctor is the safe career choice?
I mean, it's safe in a sense that we are essential workers.
Yes.
So we will always be needed.
We always need you.
Yes.
So true.
Yeah, but I guess I always wanted to find a way to combine my two passions together to make life more meaningful for me, not just for my parents to be happy, but for me to be happy as well.
And happiness. So I believe you're what you're saying is that performing makes you happy.
Definitely, yes.
And in fact, at Cebu Doctors University, someone's just dropped this in the comment section.
Oh, what did they
you
say?
You are Medising's soprano.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for the O after?
I think this is 0.
Yeah, a 0 after.
Oh, okay.
That's Gab Arsenes.
Hi, Gab. Oh my goodness, he's watching. Hi, Gab.
And then lots of emojis from Luis Colin Ladera. I guess these are people who know you not just as a doctor, but also as a performer.
Yes. So Gab mentioned about CDU.
Yes.
So that's
correct.
where
You studied.
Yes, that's where I studied for my pre-medical course as well as medicine. So I used to be medtech.
Medical technologist.
Yes, medical technologist, and proceeded to medicine in the same university in CDU. So Gab knows me from medical school.
You know what? I just suddenly have this visual in my head of you like walking down the stairs in a white medical gown, but the gown is a ball gown.
It's a ball gown.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Doctor by day.
Yes. I mean, we're laughing at that, but in fact, you're doing it so well. And so there's so many people right now who are like really attesting to that you are full of magic, according to Jasmine Munoz. And I guess you're Maurice Dan's Geroy's idol as well. Yes. Hi, everyone. And of course, Shanice would like to ask for a sample, at least.
A sample.
We'll do that maybe later.
Maybe
at the
later.
end of this. So if you're going to stick around and listen to this conversation, Judy might just
Hopefully sing.
hopefully sing. So maybe you told us about how performing has always made you happy. Tell us about maybe your very first memory of performing, whether it's singing, dancing, or just being on stage.
Performing.
What would be your core memory
Of performing itself?
Yes.
Or music? I guess, I feel like it's a universal experience for a lot of Filipino kids.
Okay.
Where you're in a family party and they would ask you to sing or dance or perform. And I guess most of us in our family can sing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly what we would do. And I would sing, and it would always be Disney. Always be a Disney princess
What would be
song.
your first Disney princess song? Was it a princess, even a princess song?
Yes, actually. So, going back to my first memory, even of music itself, I grew up being taken care of mostly by my grandfather when I was a little girl, and he loved singing to me. And there were two songs that I would really remember. One was Visayan. I could not remember the lyrics. But the other one, which was English, was Cinderella's A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes. So that was, I would say that's the the very first song that I
your-
memorized by heart.
And your grandfather was the one singing this to you.
Yes, when I was a
Wow.
little girl. Yeah.
And I believe that, yeah, I understand now how that could be a core memory. But you couldn't remember the Bisaya song?
Yes, I could not remember the Visaya song.
Did you try to, like, maybe, try to find out what it was? Did you ask anyone in
actually-
the family?
I thought about it this morning.
Just this morning?
Yeah, and I was like,
Because
oh.
of this interview?
Yes.
Yes.
I just know it was a Visayan song, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if he made it up or maybe it was one of those songs that are just passed down. I don't think it was common. I'm not very sure.
It's not the common Bisaya songs.
Yeah, it's not the
Otherwise, you would
common
have heard it already.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly,
yes. And then it's also possible that your grandfather could have been a songwriter as well, if that was
I
his
think
his
so.
composition.
Definitely. He
Yes.
definitely knew how to sing and write, and he was also in the dramatic arts as well. So I never know. He probably made it up.
So now I understand you are really in a family of artists, because I believe your mother is also a visual artist.
Oh yes,
Yes.
my mom.
Yes, yeah, can you tell us about how it is growing up with a mother who actually does that?
Yeah, so my mom is mostly, first and foremost, she's a storyteller before a visual artist, and her job is mainly teaching kids, special education's teacher, and so it was very natural for her to tell stories. Even
Yes.
as kids growing up, of course, her bedtime stories were always great. She can read very eloquently and she could tell her own stories very well. And it was only a bit later in her life where she would really focus on the visual side of it. But of course, as a teacher, she knew how to make all these drawings and doodles for kids. So that's how it started.
And you being a witness to that, how did you feel about what she was doing?
I guess, honestly, I mean, as a child, you wouldn't think much about it. I would think that it's a normal experience for everyone to be a bit inclined in the arts, which is true
I guess for many Cebuanos or
I think
Filipinos.
so, yes, in a sense. So for me, I thought, it was a universal experience for kids. But yeah, eventually growing up, I realized, oh, okay, so not all families enjoy Disney or watch Disney together, or not everyone knows how to tell a story or maybe make a story and perform. So yeah, I guess it changed me in a way, and
Wow.
I guess it shows with how I speak, probably
How you speak.
how I speak.
Well, and Gab's adding another comment here, and she was saying that the soprano zero was actually like a joke. That they're saying that it's higher range than soprano one,
Yeah.
and you've always been the one assigned to hit the highest notes.
Oh, that's true. I can't believe he's still on. He's still on there. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, I get it now. So yeah. So in college, my entire college life, I was always either studying or after classes. I'm always in choir rehearsals. So I was always in soprano. There are 4 divisions to that, and I was in soprano 0, the highest. Correct.
So I guess it's we know now, without even for those who have not heard you sing, they already have an idea that you do have a really good voice, and I'm so happy that we're able to experience that at Tudenkan's Theater Company. But maybe I'd like to go back to like that moment, of course, growing up, probably still want to do performances, and then you're in that family of artists. I would say you're all artists. I mean, your sisters also
They also
sing.
sing.
Are they both in the medical profession as well?
A lot of us, yes, most of us in
Oh,
the family are
how
in the
many are
medical.
you? I'm sorry.
Oh, my siblings.
Yes.
We're four. I'm
Oh,
the
there's
youngest.
four. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought there's three. Okay, three more siblings. Okay, three siblings, and you are the youngest.
I am the youngest.
Okay. So with medicine, obviously you've done a lot of hard work. No one can just do that, like a breeze and all. But you've done that while still pursuing what you love. But was there ever a time wherein you had to choose between school, meaning medicine, and so you have to choose between that and theater or performing?
Yes, I think in a way, yes and no. So again, my path was kind of set out for me growing up. Because although a lot of people in my family are inclined in the arts, most of us are also in the medical field. So I kind of knew growing up that I also want to be in the same field, to be a doctor one day. But eventually in college, as I was studying, it's not easy, not an easy course at all. And so I'm just glad that I found my escape to it, which was always music, and I was invited to choir eventually, and that's it just remained with me because I could not function if I was just purely doing my academics. I had to have my safe space, which was music.
So in the choir, or well, at school, you were in the choir for the 4 years that you were studying?
Around 4 years in medical technology and another 3 years in
Wow,
medical
so you
school.
did even at med school you
Even in
were
med
still
school.
in the choir.
Yeah, so when Gab mentioned medicine, that is the official
Medicine.
the
Yes.
official name of the CDU Med Chorale. And we just won this year, by
Oh.
the way.
Oh,
We
hi
won
to the CDU Med Chorale. Tell us about what you won. Yes, you won.
this year. Yeah, so I mean, obviously as alumni, we cannot join because only the students can join the chorale competition.
But you were involved.
Yes, a lot of us are always involved, like even if a lot of us are in different career paths.
How very
busy.
supportive.
It is very supportive. Always been supportive medicine. So yeah, so this year I think the theme was Disney again. So of course, as my favorite theme, I had to go and support. I wasn't there on the day, but during auditions I was there, and during the first few rehearsals, I helped the girls, the sopranos.
And you said that they won this year.
Yes,
So that's an
champions.
annual competition.
It is, yeah.
Wow.
So I also just found out I thought it was common for all universities to, during their intramurals week, to have also a chorale competition, but apparently I think
Nope.
it's only CDU. Yeah.
No, yeah. Most of the competitions for intramurals would be, sports related.
yeah.
There's cheer dancing.
Yeah.
And I guess that's about it. So
Yeah.
CDU has that.
CDU has chorale competition.
So let's just say that CDU has normalized, med students doing performances,
Yes,
singing or
we both
dancing
have,
and all
yes,
that.
We have chorale competition and the dance competition, and it's always very serious. Everyone's so serious about it.
Oh, well, you're already serious in schooling, and then you
Yes.
have to be serious with your competition
Yes.
as well. How did you manage your time? Of course, it's so easy. People will say, "Oh, you just have to manage that and all that." But maybe I would like to understand what were your challenges back then, and how were you able to handle them? And now you're a doctor, so it's easy to say that you have succeeded in so many ways.
Yeah, so proper time management, which is not easy to do, definitely. It's more of, I guess, since we are a group, so especially in the earlier weeks before a competition, you don't all have to rehearse together. Sometimes it could just be a group at a time, but ideally also together. It's really, it has a lot to do with adjustments, and not just you, but everyone else has to make the same effort when it comes to time management. And you have to be super understanding as well of everyone's situation. And honestly, if all of you just work together, then you're guaranteed to be, I mean, even if you don't get a place in the competition, you're guaranteed to be happier with a stronger connection with each other. And I think that's the most important part.
Do you think things would have been different, or I'm sure you'd say yes. So I'll change my question. It would be more of, how do you think things would be different? Things would have been like if you were not part of the chorale.
Personally, if I wasn't part of chorale in my medical school,
Yes.
yeah, I can't imagine a life. Actually, looking back, if I did not join the choir, if I was not invited to join choir.
So it was by invitation?
Yes.
Oh my
I
God.
think you don't
Who-
even know about this.
No. Who invited you?
Oh wait. Okay. Oh, the one who commented, Maurice.
Maurice.
He's actually,
Dan A.
Heroy.
Heroy.
Yes.
Yes.
So he was my high school music teacher when I was third year high school.
Oh, wow.
And he was the one who discovered that I sound like someone who should be on Broadway or musicals. Actually.
Wow. That's,
Yeah.
it's really important to have teachers or, mentors who believe in you, because, there are times when someone just needs a little push, and that is enough to have the confidence. We don't have to be the best at something, but when we're good at something and you have someone who can see that you're doing that and who see you, it changes everything, right?
Yeah, definitely. So there.
So you got invited. He invited you.
Yeah, so I think there are like maybe 2 to 3 important key persons that maintained with me since in medical school until like after, and then until joining Tutankan. So okay, one is, yes, my high school teacher, teacher Heroy. He was actually like, I didn't know about this when I was in high school, but when I was in college, he was like, "Oh, Judy, you should join the choir in your department."
So your high school, where did you go for high school?
Bethany Christian School.
So
super academic.
Yes. Is
But
that
yeah,
a Chinese school?
it is,
also?
yes. So I grew up in around all my Chinese friends.
Wow. Yes. So thank you. Oh well, a big shout out to your teacher, Sir Maurice.
Yes,
Heroy.
Maurice.
Yes.
So,
he's done a good job.
Yeah, so the story was, when I was in college, I didn't know that he was also the choir director of another college department, College
Oh,
of
wow.
Dentistry.
Uh-huh.
So he was a choir director himself, and at the same time, he was also the choir director of CIM na choir. So he
Wow.
invited me to join
Is that choir hopping?
choir hopping. Yes.
Yes.
So that's why. So I was like, okay, I will try joining the choir, and then eventually in choir, and when I was in medtech, I met someone that
Oh, who is this?
Mikey.
Oh, Mikey!
Mikey.
My God.
So
Mikey
she was-
Amagsila.
Yeah, so she was very active in our department when she was still. She used to also be in medtech
Wow.
with me. She was student council, I
You know,
believe.
I've forgotten about that. That she was actually in.
Yeah, she's in
CDU
CDU
as well.
So that's Mikey. One of the, I guess, close friends, because she was very easy to approach. And so I stayed in choir because of her and everyone else I met.
Oh.
And then eventually, choir was a passion to me, so I continued in medical school. And then after that, after I got my license, guess who invited me to Tutankan's? It was
Who?
Mikey.
Oh, Mikey again.
Mikey again.
Wow. So wow. I mean, so Mikey's well, I'm so glad that she's invited you. And I don't know if you're listening right now, Mikey, but I'm sure that you'll be listening later on YouTube if you've missed this. But yeah, I think I'd like to go back to that moment when you
Okay.
perform or when you did that workshop and you performed for the very first time. But before we continue, I'd like to, to give a shout out to a few of our people listening. We have Herodin Anab, and of course, you've tagged Hayana Hashim. I don't know if you know them. And then shout out to Aris Gracilia. And of course, your teacher, Morris Dan Heroy, has added in the comment section that you were in fourth year high school and that you had an amazing voice. And he was really happy that you've reached your success in singing and performing. So, it's asking you to keep singing in Dai.
I definitely will.
And of course, K Omega Suarez, Shanice, thank you for tagging your friends to, well, listen to this conversation. So, naapay pahabol. Pa-shout out kay Mark, Dave, Francisco. Thank you, Mark, for listening. And so let's go back to that workshop, which was this 2 or 3 summers ago
Oh, and Tuten Cans.
at
Yes.
Tuten Cans Theater Lab. Take us back to that moment.
During the workshop. Which part? There's so many memories, so many core memories
just
for
share,
me.
Share whatever that
Wow.
you remember of that time.
I was, first of all, I was so nervous for it because, I mean, I was already a licensed physician at that point, and I thought
Yes.
I thought it would be odd for someone like me to be joining, I guess, a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I met everyone else, we were actually pretty a broad age range. We were all adults, but like all from different ages, different walks of life, different courses, different jobs. It felt reassuring that like I wasn't the only one who had this crazy idea to join a workshop, a theater workshop at that. And then, the core memory for me, and I think for most of us, honestly, was our first day and our first workshop. I think that would be, yeah, everyone's memory. Our first teacher was Mommy
This was
Apple.
for musical theater.
Yes, I joined the
for
musical theater
adults
workshop.
group, and that was with Apple
Apple.
Abarquez. Yes.
Mommy Apple. So she was there on the first day, and I think I did not expect what she was prepped for us to do. Of course, there was a part na she asked us to like sing any song from a musical, which is I guess expected of a theater
Musical
workshop.
theater
Yeah.
class. Yes.
But then there was a part where she all sat us down in a circle, and she told each one of us to remember a time that was deeply personal to us and was sad or like broke our hearts. And so we all really thought so deep about it, and like I did not expect that to come out of a workshop.
And on the first day.
And on the first day with all these strangers that I did not know.
Well, you can
Yeah.
never know what's waiting for you at a workshop.
Exactly. That's why it's always fun to be in a workshop. So that's what happened. We all shared, and because of that, from the start of the workshop, and we all knew that we would end doing our recital, but because of that first workshop where we all just got to talk to each other and really like bear it all, we got so close. There was an instant connection, and the rest of the workshops were easier.
And some of
of
your classmates from that workshop are even supporting you today.
Yes.
Kay is saying, Shanice is saying that you were her first friend during that workshop.
Yes, that is true.
And Louise also agrees to that first day core memory. And of course, Nevs is, all caps
All
saying, OMG, classmate ko ni sa workshop with a pop, heart. Yes. Hi, Nevs. Hi, Louise. Hi, Shanice. Thanks for listening. And hi to Julius Caesars. Hi, Jules. Thanks for listening, and hope to see you soon. So we're actually talking about that first your memory of that workshop at Tutinkan's Theater Lab. And I'm sure there's so many things that you can actually share. But maybe I'd like to skip the workshop, but you can also just really stop me from doing so. Let's go to when you started preparing for the performance Rebels and Revelry.
Rebels and Revelry.
Yes, you were saying that you've become close with most of your classmates.
Yes.
But how did you feel preparing for that performance, that production?
I was excited because I think because for my whole college life, I was always on stage for the competitions. But then
Yes.
this time, it wasn't a competition, just being able to express yourself on stage. It's so freeing. I wish a lot of people could experience feeling so free on stage.
Wow. Yes. I suppose if you'd like to know how it is to feel that free, you can enroll at Tutinkan's Theater Lab.
Definitely.
Yes, and that's for all kids, teens, and adults. Okay, but I'd like to focus on that, the feeling of being free. How do you describe that?
How do- in performance, right? That's
Yeah.
what you mean.
Or even just before, while you were still preparing, like
Actually, honestly, for the preparing side, I mean, I guess you can say it's less free because of course, you have a script and you have all the directors helping. One of those being you, and also Vince, Sir Vince, and then
Vincent was the one who did your choreography.
yes, our
Yes.
choreography, and then Miss Apple was there. So, you do have like you can't say strictly that you're free to do whatever you want to do, but you have a direction. And so it was scary at first because I don't think I've done theater in high school. We were strictly academic, so I guess you can say it's kind of new to me. So, but also as a person who is kind of like I'm a person who always follows instructions like to the dot. So I would overthink about all these things, and I remember
Oh, the medical girl in her, because obviously that's a different discipline, right?
Yes.
But both have there's discipline also in performing, and you took it really seriously.
Yes.
And that's why we've mentioned about really preparing and memorizing the script, following the
Exactly,
directions, and
yes.
all that. And yet you have mentioned that performing feels freeing.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
after all of that preparation, all that hard work that spans for weeks or even months sometimes, and you're there on the final day and it's kind of like muscle memory at this point. You know what to do and you're free to express whatever else feels true to you and feels true to your character at the same time. And I mean, you're in front of a lot of people, but of course with the spotlight thankfully you can barely see anyone, and you're not actually focusing on the audience as well, and sometimes not even focusing on yourself. You're focusing on telling that story and making people understand what the character is trying to say. Yeah. I think it's very
And
freeing.
I guess the freedom that we feel when we perform, it's something personal, and it's also it's you experience it in differently, from person to person, but we may be saying it or describing it the same way, meaning we say that we feel free. And I guess that's how many feel when you're just able to express, you're able to move, you're able to sing your heart out. And a lot of it is really just following your heart, And as Shanice has said to our Gertrude, this is another production, Shanice. We're still at Rebels and Revelry, but theater is already in your heart.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That is great. But before, there's already the mention of Gertrude, which was a role that you performed later on. But after that workshop, did you actually think that you would be doing more of this? Or is it like, oh, I'm going to go back to my
Whatever I was doing.
medical profession world?
Well, I definitely did not expect that I would be doing more of theater per se, but I mean, I was always just open to whatever opportunity comes my way, and if it feels right for me and it makes me happy, then yeah, I just follow what I want to do at the moment.
You seem to have a criteria there. If it feels right and if it makes you happy, you're open to the opportunity. And so an opportunity opened, which was an audition, and you took that, you grabbed that opportunity.
Yeah, I did. I did not expect that. I remember coming in late. I think I was busy for something else. A few months. I think the rest have started. Like the workshops have started.
So this is about, so this was 2 years ago, I believe, or
Yeah.
is this
Oh,
2 years?
ago.
Now
It's
we're
already been.
2026.
It's been
So
2 years.
it's going 3 years soon, I believe.
No, it
So
was 2024. The performance was in 2024, but I believe the workshop for that started end of 2023.
okay, 2023. But before that, now I'm actually confused. Did you audition for there was an opening for Tutankhamun's Theater Company membership?
Ah, yeah, I auditioned. Yes.
Yes, you auditioned.
I auditioned.
I was wondering if you were invited or if
I
you auditioned.
auditioned. I
So you
did.
auditioned
Yes. I
And
think on the
then-
second day.
on the second day. And I guess, as you're already a doctor, you're definitely busy, and yet you audition. I think one of the things I probably want to hear from you is like, what can you tell people who actually want to be part of, let's say, a chorale, a theater company, and all that, but they're really so busy, like with their career and or maybe businesses. What is it that you'd like to share with them about just doing it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. If it really gives you so much joy and happiness and you're passionate about it, you're going to find a way to make time for it, actually. So,
I guess that's it. It's about making time for it,
Yeah.
right? When we find something that's important to us, we will always find ways to be able to do it.
yes.
And when we don't want something, we'll find all the excuses not
exactly.
to do it. And so, yeah, hi to Alfonso Miguel Sungkad, Dr.
Fons.
Alfonso. Howdy. Yes, tuning in this afternoon from MCIA Terminal 1 Clinic.
Wow, thank you, Fons.
I think Alfonso is also one of the people that you have influenced.
I have
into
influenced heavily.
attending workshops and in doing productions, and with us also at Tutankhamun's Theater Lab. So I think that just seeing you, people are able to see how happy you are and how busy you are, and yet you're still happy. You're running from clinic to clinic, and then rehearsal to rehearsal. Again, she's a Disney princess by
Disney Princess
night.
by Night.
Yes. So, I think I'd like to. I think I'm so excited to go back to the core of this conversation, but I'd still want to talk about you being cast that important role in Seussical 2 years ago.
2 years ago. I did not expect that. Actually, I did not even know at first what the musical was about. I mean, I am familiar with Dr. Seuss.
So you've read some of his books.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, my
Yes.
mom was always
Yeah.
brought us into reading. So Dr. Seuss is very classic for, I guess, kids. Yeah, and so of course I knew about Cat in the Hat,
Yeah.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. What
Mm-hmm.
else? Lorax. Yeah,
And there are animations, produced about some of the books, some of the characters, and all. Many people know about the Grinch,
Yes.
and yes.
Cat in
But
the Hat.
then, so you auditioned for Seussical, and you were cast the very challenging, fun role, Gertrude.
Gertrude. Yeah, I remember since I had gotten late to the production, I remember, I think, speaking with Shanice. She was already part of the production. I think she was
Yes.
already given the role of Maisie.
Maisie,
amazing
amazing,
Maisie.
Maisie, the
And-
bird.
And I remember telling her that I don't know if they'll still accept me. It's a bit late now. And then she said, no, you have to try, go for it, because we still have a few roles that haven't been filled. And then she was like, you know what, if you got in, I bet they'll give you Gertrude. And then I was like, who is Gertrude? And then that's how I found out about it, and she was right.
And
Eventually-
yes,
I
she was
she
right.
was right all
Thank you,
along.
Shanice, for convincing this friend to to audition for Suzical. Yes, and sometimes it takes just that moment of like a friend.
Honestly, someone
Like,
believing in
pushing you,
you.
yes.
You don't even know what happens when someone just believes in you. It's magical.
And I feel that there's so many performers, especially here in Cebu. I mean, there are those who think highly of themselves and they just go for it. Maybe sometimes their confidence is so much bigger even than their skill, but you have to give it to them. They're gonna go for it, and that's how they succeed. And then there are also those who are very modest and very humble, and not that you don't believe in yourself, but you just think that there are always other people who are so much better than you.
Yeah.
And there will always be someone better than you. But then there's also the role. And sometimes that role was just waiting for you.
Yeah, you
and
never
that
know.
role was waiting for you, girl.
That
you
role
know?
I was.
Yes, it was. I mean, the songs, the character, that was perfect for you. The way you were singing, the belting, the songs.
The belting, the high notes.
The high notes, yes, you are soprano zero. Now I will join in that joke as well. So yeah, that was really I would say that was a good role to see you perform in.
It was the first full musical that I joined.
Yeah.
And I was, I can't even explain how I felt finding out I got a lead role on my very first musical. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, are you sure this is for me? I'm such a newbie in this field. It's not like I did theater since I was in like a little girl.
And you were serious during rehearsals,
Yeah.
I think that you were like, Judy would look like she was studying like a medical book, but it was a script.
Yes.
And you'd be like sitting there and like memorizing your lines and waiting for your turn, for the rehearsal. And your partner, you're
Clark.
Horton.
My Horton.
You're Horton. Of course, many know Horton the elephant. There is also aside from the book, there's the animation of Horton.
Of Horton, yes.
Here's a Who.
Yeah,
Is
Horton,
it?
here's a who.
Horton, here's a Who. And your partner was Clark. Wait,
Clark.
what's the family name of Clark?
Uh,
Who's now in the U.S.?
yes, hi, Clark.
Yeah, we
We
miss
miss you.
you. Wait.
Panugalinog, Clark.
Panugalinog. Yes. Okay.
And he's still performing now.
Yes, see, it's like wherever you go, you just have to perform, And now, yeah, it's so exciting seeing you perform. And as you said, that was your first musical, and there were others that followed after that. But one of the things that really interests me, and that's why we're here today, is the fact that you also can see how we use theater, the arts, and music in helping communities. And so, was that 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? We had a partnership with
Yes,
JCI Zubuana. So, Tutencans gave a workshop to your chosen beneficiary. And I believe that was because of you that happened. Of course, we have collaborated with so many people, but that was a seed that you've planted.
Yes.
Tell us more about that, Jude. That was really interesting.
Yeah, so, okay, honestly, ever since I joined, backstory. When I joined Tooth and Cans
Yes.
theater company, it was also the same year that I joined JCI Zugbuana, and I was still a baby member at the time. But I always had it in me that I would stay in both of these, this org and this theater company, and I would someday, someday have a project for the community that molds together my passion for community and theater. And it finally happened this year with Heartivism. I named it as such,
Heartivism.
Heartivism.
So that's like a combination of, well, for us at Tutankans, we call ourselves artivists because we are artists who are into activism, which is also advocacy, and we put it together and call ourselves artivists. And you added an H
Yes.
and an E,
H-E
I
for
believe.
heart.
Yes, or heart. So now you've added the heart.
Yes, Heartivist.
So, yes, bring us to that activity. Maybe I'd like to know, was there like an aha moment, like when you've actually realized that theater and music could be tools for your community building and healing?
The aha
Was it
moment.
something dramatic, or was it some? Who knows? I'm really interested.
Maybe honestly conceptualizing the title was the aha moment.
Okay. Yes.
But I always knew that theater and the arts, music brings healing to, I mean, not only to everybody and to the community. So it's, I guess, always been a part of me. So it was just the moment of, it was just a matter of me waiting for the perfect moment to be able to do the project. And that's what happened with Heartivism. And it was during National Arts Month as well. So I was really happy about that.
So that perfect moment finally happened during Arts Month, which was in February. And you have chosen school children from a particular barangay, which was
Napo.
Napo.
Yes.
Where is Napo?
It's in Guadalupe. It's part of Guadalupe. Are you curious to know why it's in Napo? It was actually a full circle
Yes,
moment.
come on, tell us. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you curious to know why? Here it is.
Why Napo? Okay. Yeah, so, well, okay, so at this point, I've been with Tooth and Cans for almost 3 years, as well as JCI Zugbuana for almost 3 years. For a lot, Napo was already our previous beneficiary because we actually helped rebuild their school. I think they were stricken by fire.
Oh,
Yeah, they
okay.
were,
I was even thinking it could be the typhoon, but they.
it was previously before the typhoon. They were thankfully they were fine when the typhoon came. I guess because the structure and the buildings were fine, but there was a fire that hit them. I think 2 years ago, and so also in that year, it wasn't me. It wasn't led by me, but by our team. So JCI Zugbuana, but that was mainly in partnership with JCI Manila, our sister chapter. So we rebuilt, I think, 3 of their classrooms.
Wow.
Yeah, in
Okay.
Napo. And their principal is very supportive in all sorts of ways and very easy to communicate with. So we always kept that connection with their principal, with their
I
school
think that's
principal.
also really important, having that connection. And so you have all these ideas of like how you can help rebuild and all that. But if the other side is also not
Yeah.
opened, it just makes things difficult. But it's also very, this is an important thing when we have, like, for example, those calamities, fires, typhoons, flooding, and all. We always think that healing is about the recovery and the rebuilding, but you've added a different layer, which is something leading to emotional and social and psychological. So what brought about this activity of giving a theater workshop?
Yeah, so now that I go back, when we did the culminating for the turnover ceremony for the classrooms that we rebuilt,
Yes.
I think my vice president at the time asked me, Because obviously during the turnover ceremony there's speeches and also like a special number. So she was like, Judy, can you
So
sing?
you were the Disney princess
Yeah.
that
So I
turnover
sang.
ceremony.
I sang one Bisaya song and one
Oh
English
wow,
song.
great!
Yeah, and the English song was Wicked's Defying Gravity. It was that week where they were showing the movie. So I sang, and then, everything went well. The turnover, the building is in great condition, and we kept touch with the principal. And then I thought about this activity that I've always wanted to do, a theater workshop for students. And the very first one in mind for us was Napo. And he was like, it's very easy to connect with them. Maybe since it's the first time I'm ever doing this project, we should obviously also consider how cooperative the beneficiary would also be. And yes, Ma'am Palban, the principal, she was very welcoming, and she had no hesitations with the idea of a theater workshop for her elementary school students. And so
But
we did
that's Ma'am Palban
Yes,
is
Ma'am
very
Palban.
supportive, and so you've done it. Well, you did it. You've done that. Yes. And I think in activities like that, um, what was the goal? What were we trying to do? And why do we call it community building? Doing a theater workshop.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize or don't even know what, happens in a theater workshop.
As you mentioned, the principal didn't even
Yeah, she did not
really,
hesitate.
yes.
I guess because we already had a working connection, so she believed, I guess, anything that we would do would be beneficial for their students. So yeah, a lot of people would think from an outside perspective, especially if you're not a creative, I guess. When you say the word theater workshop, you would
Yes.
kind of think that that's only for like professionals or maybe people who are really inclined to perform or act or sing. But a lot of people don't understand that the core of any theater workshop is about believing in yourself, being confident to express yourself, to use your voice. And honestly, the best thing about it is that there's no right or wrong way in theater. So it really encourages kids, especially kids who are in their formative years, to be able to be confident in themselves, to express themselves, which is so important for them to learn growing up and eventually into adulthood. So yeah.
That's really, I do agree to all that, and these are really important. Kids are all, obviously, we all grow up in a home, and we are affected by the environment that we grow up in, and then it's not always about the people who raised you. It's also about the community that you belong to, and it's also about the experiences that you've had growing up. And for many of these kids, having experience like maybe seeing that your school is on fire, and then having experienced the typhoon, maybe losing home, can't go to school because of so many issues. I mean, there's always we get affected. There's always an effect on confidence. And yes, it's theater workshops that would help a bit. It's not going to really change your life, although others would claim that an experience like that will change your life and make it better because, as you've mentioned, you feel free when you're performing and all. But for some, there's always that, it contributes to the self-confidence, contributes to someone probably feeling like, oh, I'm finally being heard. I'm finally being seen. Now I have a voice. Oh, I'm allowed to sing. That's also
I'm allowed
important.
to say this. Sometimes I remember the experience being in the theater workshop that we had with the Napo Elementary School kids. At the start of it, a lot of them were shy. Of course, they're kids. A lot of them are shy. There's some that stand out. But eventually, as the theater workshop progressed, they were able to say whatever it was in their heart, even if they were wrong. They weren't wrong. That was true for them, and they were encouraged by Dan and Mommy Shang.
So that would be our let's mention the people who actually helped in doing that workshop. So the workshop facilitators are Dan Clever Gigantone and Sheila Pestaño Hemperoa
Yes, and Charlene.
and Charlene Virlove of Tutincans, Philippines. It's also collaborations like this that are important. You know, I'm sure it's important for JCI Zubuana. It's also very important to us at Tutincans, Philippines. The thing is, you are the one in the middle. You're the one that brought us together.
Yes.
This was your idea. And I believe it also takes people who can actually see the different aspects of it. You know, I'd like to give a what's this? Let's put a pause on that because I think it would. I'd like to say hi to some of your friends from JCI who are listening. Someone's even calling you to the most well-rounded woman, Judy Crisell. That's Sunday.
Oh, that's my classmate in medical
Your
school.
classmate
Yeah.
in med school. Wow. And then someone's happy that Zugbuana is mentioned. Angela Cabana.
Oh, yes.
And she says she's always super
She was
proud.
there. She was there during the theater workshop.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's super proud of you, their most hardworking director. Yes. And of course, shout out to Aaron Rojero. Thank you for listening to us. Yes, and if you've just tuned in, this is Up Next on TMC 105.1, the most Cebu radio. We're having a conversation with Judy Crisell. She's actually Dr. Judy Crisell Ralios. We're trying to understand how healing communities can be done through the arts and through theater and through music. You know, when we talk about healing, it's always about medicine. So obviously, we have our doctors and nurses. We want to feel better. And yet there's the world of the arts that actually help in the healing aspect as well. So we have just discussed about the work that you've done, that Judy's done, in collaboration between JCI Cebuana and Tutincans Philippines. And for you, Jude, what kind of communities are you building through your work in theater and then in music and then in JCI Cebuana?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to build communities that are able to express themselves and be more emotionally in tune with themselves and just be able to communicate their needs, like not only in the physical or the wellness aspect when it comes to like medicine, but also emotionally and mentally.
And
Yeah.
with mental health, that's really like something that, you know, people are now accepting that the, you know, mental health matters because in a different generation you would be told to just suck it up, you know, you just have to deal with it, that's how life is hard, so don't expect to for people to be easy on you, you just have to keep fighting. And now we have a generation that says, you know, mental health matters. You have to learn to slow down. You have to learn to focus on yourself. You have to rest. Can you imagine? Rest. I mean, you as a doctor and all that.
Doing everything else.
Doing
Rest.
everything else.
What is
Rest. Yeah, what is rest? But this is something that we now promote, that it's actually okay to be tired and okay to be not okay and to step back and just relax, you know?
It's always important to strike a balance between both working and resting. It's okay to obviously you have to work, but it's okay to rest also. You deserve you it's not resting shouldn't be a reward. It should be it's part of working. You have to rest because you can't function if you don't rest. I mean, everyone in medical school
now
knows
I'd like to ask our doctor by day, Disney princess by night, how do you rest?
how.
Yes, you know.
Well, I'm just lucky that I chose to not do the traditional path of being a doctor, because the traditional path would be me getting my license and I would have been in residency training. If I did that, it would be great also, but also it wouldn't be exactly true to myself. So I found the balance between work and my passions, and that's exactly what I did.
But you're a licensed physician, not just in the Philippines, right?
Oh, yes.
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 You have also yeah. I'll let you be the one to say that in case I'm not saying it right.
Yeah, so I'm a licensed physician in the Philippines, but also got my license in the UK, just working on processing my papers. But yes, technically I finished my exams. So I'm technically, UKMD.
UK medical
UK.
doctor. Wow. Well, but you've mentioned that you haven't followed the traditional path.
Yeah.
And what do you see? Well, by not following that traditional path, you're saying that that allows you to rest and maybe pursue your
It does.
your passions.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, especially when I got into theater and community work, and I still connect with all my friends in medical school.
They're all there.
They're
They're
all
saying
there.
hi. I can read
Yes.
their names. Yes.
And also the ones who don't have time because they're in the hospital.
Oh, they're in the hospital right now. Can
Some
they
of
like turn? Can you switch on? And tune in to TMC 105.1
I'll be surprised if someone in the hospital.
at the ER. Oh my God. No, focus. Okay, focus.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's actually someone. Alfonso can attest to this because
Yes.
I inspired him, also influenced him to join.
Dr. Alfonso. Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of us in medical school don't know anything about not medical school, the world around us. A lot of people don't realize that medical students spend like 10 years in college instead of like the usual 3-4 years in college, and then
plus,
going-
plus, plus, plus.
then going into adulthood,
Yeah.
the real world. A lot of us in medical school are stuck in the student mindset. Even until now, we're just
Yeah.
studying very hard, and then eventually it becomes our job. But you're still studying. You're still always training. You can never master medicine. You're always just. That's why we call it the practice of medicine.
You're still practicing.
We're still practicing. Yeah, a lot of my friends in medical school, I think, are shocked to see me now. Like, oh, Judy's doing this, and oh, she was able to do it. Yeah.
I guess that's it. That it's like there's so many others who would probably want to be more involved, but then it's also a question of time and I guess I would say priorities. Yes.
Choices. The choices.
The
that you
choices
make.
they make, and obviously you are happy with the choices that you've made.
Yes.
And I guess I had to ask about the rest and all that because we do know about the fact that for doctors actually take so long
So
studying
long,
before they
yes.
can become doctors. But I think with our guest last week, with Abigail, Abigail's a choreographer, and she's actually done choreography for so many doctors and events that are organized by the doctors, societies and all
Okay.
that.
Probably
And-
also from CDU graduates.
And of course, she was saying that they never, during the rehearsals, they're never complete. And you know how that can be very frustrating, but she's become very understanding because of the fact that they're all doctors. And it's like, who's your priority? Of course, your patients' lives. It's not going to be your performance.
Yes.
And maybe there would even be times when you're performing and you'd be called to go to the ER, you
Yeah.
know, and attend to a patient. So, yes, I guess I think that it's amazing what you're doing, you know, having to juggle all these roles, but at the same time being able to wear all the different hats at the same time, not one at a time. Oh, I have to stop because I've just read a comment here. Katie
Oh, my
Ralios.
sister.
That's your sister. Hi, sister. So is she also a doctor?
She's a nurse in the UK.
Oh, she's a nurse in the UK. Hi. Oh my God. Hi, Katie Ralios.
time is
Thank
it
you for
now? She's
listening.
awake.
Yes. What time is it now? I know it's already morning. So yes, thanks for listening in. Go, Dr. Crisel, she's saying. Yes. And go, Dr. Judy from Sofia Nolido.
That is a member of JCI Zugwana. She's a nursing student.
And she's calling you mother.
Mother.
Call me mother. Mother, yes. Yes. So, hi, Sophia Nolido. Thank you very much for listening. And drop your comments, more of your comments about Judy here. We were talking about healing actually. Very, very serious discussion about healing, but we're trying to make it light. You know, obviously, there would always be challenges when it comes to schedules and priorities, I guess. But what keeps you going during those moments when maybe,
With all these roles
yes,
that
all
I'm
these roles.
playing.
I mean, what's your role at JCI Zugbuana? You're not just a member.
Yeah.
You're also an officer, right? Or a director.
Yes.
Yes.
So part of the board of directors, which is not
You're a member of the
light
board of directors. And is there a specific role, a
Yes.
committee assigned?
Yes, I am the director for community development.
Oh my
in
God,
JCI.
how apt! Community development. So I guess they can really see that this is where you belong. You know,
Yeah.
that's where you're
That's
good
where my
at.
heart has always been in community. Yeah.
So, in moments where it's difficult, it's busy, it's challenging, what keeps you going?
Just the simple fact that what I do, I mean, when it comes to community service, what I do was never for me, never even for the org, but for the people that benefit from it.
Wow.
Yeah.
The people you serve.
The people that I serve. I guess that's been ingrained in me since, again, growing up in a household in the medical profession. So it was always just about service. Yeah. So that's what keeps me going. It is not easy. Community development is the busiest directorate because, of course, that's the heart of the organization.
That's why I feel so honored you're here. You're so busy and you've given us time to listen to you and have this conversation, you know. And I think that it's really important that we are able to record this conversation.
Yeah, it's important to talk. That's also why
Yes.
I'm here, because I think a lot of people don't understand why I'm doing all of this. They just, like my medical friends, don't know why I'm doing theater and doing community. Like, that is kind of insane for just...
So enlighten us. Yeah. Why? What is your biggest why?
My biggest why, because for me, okay, growing up both with medicine and the arts, it's always been healing for me, and I just believe in it so much that I want people, because it's technically like a niche thing, theater, the arts. A lot of people, especially in the Philippines, still don't know a lot about it. And it's not just performing or like being a star or being
That's
the
what
center.
people see.
That's what people see. But there's so much healing in the arts itself that it's just so important for me to be able to stay both in medicine, in theater, and in community work. Because my goal was always to be, if this helped me in some way, I just know it can help other people. And even though I get so tired, I still do it Because again, it's not for me, it's not for the org, it's for the people that actually need to just hear about this or to learn from this. Yeah.
Has there ever been a time when you felt like you had to give up something, give up one?
One or the other.
Yeah.
Maybe all, maybe every day of my
Every
life.
day?
It is not easy, yes.
Uh-huh. Do you follow the rule of like, if you're tired today, just quit tomorrow, and
Oh, that's-
keep telling yourself that and then the next day you're tired again, and then you keep saying, I'm gonna quit tomorrow, and tomorrow's never gonna come.
Actually, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think again all comes back to balance, finding that balance for you. Like it's not always the same for everyone, but
So true.
yeah, find that balance within yourself to continue to do your work and do your passions. If it makes you happy, then yeah, like there's no reason for you to stop doing it. But yeah, of course take a break, take a rest if you really cannot do it because you can't function without rest again.
And I think that's also important about like understanding that what may work for you may not work for others.
Yeah.
And we have different ways of dealing with things. We have different ways of managing, what we do, or even our connection and attachment to what we do. So it's really important that you go for what works for you, find what works for you. I mean, with the arts, it doesn't have to be like theater. It can be something else. And with community building, you don't really have to go out there. It can be your own small community at home, in the neighborhood, at school. It's really just understanding of what you want to do for yourself, for the people, and for the world in the name of service. So you've worked with so many communities, so many groups. Maybe a question is like, for example, for a group like the children in Napo, it's like, what has working with them or serving them taught you?
That the Filipino people are really they're amazing. They're resilient. They're so talented, brilliant minds, these kids. And all it really takes is just someone, like a single push, someone to believe in them. And like they will soon understand that they're just not one person, or they're not just, let's say, meant to be a teacher, meant to be a doctor, meant to be this. They are also capable of feeling, of telling a story, of understanding themselves and each other. Yeah, that's really what changed, especially with kids. I think a lot of us have soft spots for children, and it's so important for them to be able to experience this kind of workshop or this kind of activity, because that will really, I believe it will really ignite something else, like an idea and a new belief, or a new like belief in themselves even and others.
And I think you'll never really know the influence or how far your influence would go. For some of those kids, that would have been a core memory, something that would affect how they see people, what they'd
Yeah.
like to do when they grow up.
Yeah.
Could also mean maybe at least one of them wanting to do music or theater or the
Yeah.
arts just because of that experience. And for all of you who are listening, this is still up next. We are on TMC 105.1. We're here at the Tops Media Center listening to Dr. Judy Crisel Ralios talking about healing and finding it in the space of the arts, theater, and music. Hi to Ayman Swagi. Thank you for listening in. I don't want to miss people who may have said hi here. Someone's calling you a multi-talented queen, Jasmine Munoz.
She
Yeah.
works with me in community development.
Oh, so another one of those. Another one of those. Busy and
Yes.
really all out for service. Hi from Jean Govinda, our artist. John. Hi, Jean. Thank you for listening. And of course, your co-company member at Tutankhamun's Theater Company, Julie Cardenas. Let's go, Judy is saying. And of course, your K Omega Suarez still calling you their princess. You know. How do you feel when people call you that? Like, oh, there she's our Disney princess.
I mean, okay, my handle has the word princess, and I have not changed it since Instagram.
Princess, is it Princess Griselle?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Since Instagram was created, I have always been named the Princess Griselle. And
Mm-hmm.
people who I would meet in medical school, obviously, like my high school friends know.
Yes.
Okay, the princess, she's always singing Disney, whatever, performing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when I meet new people, they're always shocked, like, princess.
Dr. Princess. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but how do you feel about that?
How do
like
I
when
feel?
when people call you, oh, she's the Disney princess, and
I guess
and
it
all
makes
that.
me happy because I mean it's silly, but I always just wanted to remain true to myself and
So you're a princess,
yeah,
according to
a princess
yourself. Yes.
according to myself.
Yes. Okay.
And I guess I mean in a way, honestly, I even never imagined that I would be where I am now, like doing theater and community work aside from being a licensed MD. But like ever since I was a little girl, Princess Griselle just always remained with me. So I guess you can say I manifested it into existence that I'm doing all of these things.
And I guess you also have, well, for me personally, I have two groups of ideas when it comes to princess. You have the word princess, and you're talking about someone who wants to be served, someone who has to dress in this ball gowns, someone who doesn't have to do anything, someone who has ladies in waiting, and all that, someone who sits all day and doing whatever she wants by asking other people to do it for her. So you have that one picture of that kind of princess, and then you also have the other one who fights for her country, the one who would serve people, who makes sure that the people are not hungry and they're protected, and that their well-being are protected, in that kind of princess. And it seems like the word princess is apt for you because you have been serving communities. And
Yeah,
of course,
in a
you're
way.
allowed to sit down and
I'm allowed to sit down.
and just enjoy the view. You obviously deserve the rest, considering the so many work that you do. But what kind of impact do you think you hope to create through your work as a doctor, your work as a doctor, your work as a theater artist, and then of course your work in community building? Is there only one? Is there like or would you say it's different in every area?
Well, it can be different, but also have the same end goal for me. So the impact that I want to create, obviously, first and foremost, I'm a doctor. I'm a licensed physician. I want an impact that goes beyond the clinical outcomes, because for a lot of us, that's obviously what we focus on, because we're always, as doctors, we always stand between life and death, even.
So true.
Yeah. So that's scary being in this field, honestly. But yeah, more than that, especially when we're able to give the correct kind of medical treatment. More than that, I want there to be the follow through, basically. Like, it does not end there. A lot of people in the medical field know this, and a lot of people tend to forget because we're so focused on the clinical outcome, the medical treatment, giving the medicine. A lot of us forget that these people are human beings with a heart, with you don't know what their situation is. So healing is beyond physical. Healing is emotional, mental, spiritual, communal. So for me, that's how I've always viewed like why I do what I do. So since I am privileged to be in this position that I'm both a doctor but also an advocate of the arts, I want people to know and always remember that healing does not end when you get treated because of the antibiotics you took. For a lot of times, especially if it's a chronic illness being like, let's say, high blood pressure, diabetes, that happens to like stays with a person long term. Healing is more than just the medications you take. It's how you manage yourself mentally and emotionally. So that's where the arts comes. Like it's so easy for people to listen to music and you're happy. It puts you in a mood. It changes the way you think about things, that it changes the way you see life. So that's always been my goal. Beyond the physical, there's always the emotional healing, and it's so important. And that's how I just mold all of these together.
Would you also say that in medicine, the healing aspect of it is so much focused on survival and like the immediate and all, and then the arts could also be more of a long term. But then I'm also like, I'm saying that, but I'm also like already arguing with myself and saying, no, they actually have, no, it sounds like the same. It's like
They
both
do
of them
complement
actually.
each other, yes.
Yes.
So, like in medicine, so the basic thing you do is obviously, let's say when you meet a person, you talk to them, you interview them, so you know what's going on, and then you arrive at a diagnosis or basically what you think is the problem that they're facing. And then the treatment being two things: there's the supportive treatment, the immediate treatment, and after treatment is when they're able to go home. There's always the we call it in medicine the continuity of care, which is so important that we focus on. So that's the rehabilitation part.
Yes.
So it's actually the same. Like so the arts, music, things that make you happy and make you realize that there's more to just one thing. That's all part of healing. So yeah, I believe medicine and the arts do work well together. I mean, even in therapy, music therapy
Yes.
exists, and that's exactly why, because it's backed up by science, backed up by research, that it heals you.
There are those who do drama therapy and again music
Yeah,
therapy, play
exactly.
therapy. There's so many therapies actually, and in other countries they have license. You have people and doctors who get licensed to
Yeah,
do
to
those
do
therapies.
therapy and different, yeah, all different kinds of therapists, definitely.
And
Yeah.
so I guess it's really difficult to say that which one is more important. And as you've mentioned earlier, there has to be a balance.
There is a balance, yes, correct. So when you think about medicine and being a doctor, obviously we treat, that's why we have a triage system, which what does the patient need the most? So if the patient is in pain, obviously that's what you try to figure out. But then eventually we're not just treating the pain or whatever the problem is. You're also going to ask about the other stuff. So a lot of being a doctor is listening and being connected to the person, not just like treating them as another case, another number. They're actual people. And so that's also when the actual healing comes in, when you even realize that they're not just they're not just people, not just a number, not just a statistic, but they're people. Yeah.
They're real human
They're
beings.
real human beings.
Yes, with families and stories and a life
Yeah.
that is in your hands.
Exactly.
Yes. But you know, I'm probably, what's this? I would probably like to say that like during COVID time, you know,
Mm.
that was like one of the best examples where people can actually see that the arts can help in healing. You know, when we were locked down, and obviously you have the hospitals and the doctors and nurses really busy attending to COVID patients, and then those who are locked down at home and having to deal with the what stress, the confinement,
Yeah, the
the isolation,
confusion, the
confusion, fear, and all
anxiety.
that.
Yeah.
We turned to music, we turned to films, we turned to art, and that helped us survive, and that also helped us feel better, I would say, you know. And hopefully people can see that. That's how the arts can actually help in healing. Now, I would like to probably pause for a moment and just read some more messages that are for you, Judy. Okay. Now, where have we? Um, oh, okay. So I think earlier, when we were talking about all the different things that you do, you know, with as a doctor and then as a theater artist, and as a community builder. So Sunday Dibusa, so that's your classmate in, you mentioned that's your classmate in
Medical
college,
school.
med school.
Yes.
Why choose to be just one when you can be everything at once? So Judy Girl is a perfect example. She hasn't lost her passion for the arts, even though medicine was or is draining. And being at the forefront of JCI Subuana, she's just a really great example to look up to. Ooh.
Thank you, Sunday. You're still
Nihilo?
watching. How's
Nihilo?
everyone still watching?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's still watching us. Thank
Yes,
you for
of course.
staying.
Yes. And then Angela Cabana,
Yes.
like to share STEM and the arts are so often pitted against each other nowadays, but it's one and the same to holistically sustain life, the pursuit and practice of it all. Um, quote, we need science to improve life and art to give meaning to it. Doc Judy is a great example that we can just do things. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing
Thank you,
your
Jella.
thoughts.
Yeah, she's also a member of JCI Zugbuana, and she's very passionate about the arts. She is herself a visual artist.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Really great. And you see, why do we talk about this? Because I mean, there are things that many would say, oh, we already know that, you know. Um, and then others would say, oh, why do we have to talk about this? I think it's different when you actually hear someone who's living the life, meaning you as a doctor and at the same time an artist, you know, for people to actually listen to how you do things and just share about your experiences and your stories. It's obviously different because we can just come up with stories, but not having someone represent that and say that, yes, they're actually real people. They're not just stories, they're just not made up. So, again, there are those who would have multiple passions and probably having a hard time um, just pursuing what they love to do because again it could be time, it could be just anything, maybe it could even be just doubt, you know,
Mm.
just asking yourself, oh, is this something that I should do? For those who are afraid, I think you would be in the position to give them an advice as to how they should deal with this. What would you like to tell them?
Yeah, a lot of the times the biggest enemy would be yourself, your doubts, and you're just scared to try something. But if you look at it differently, like if you have the means, let's say there's an audition or there's someone inviting you to join a one day ensemble or
Yes.
something as little as that, or like an let's say an art community painting, whatever it is, and just go for it. Let's say if it's something that could possibly lead to like you getting in or a rejection. Like the worst thing that could happen is just someone saying no. And then there could be some other thing. And so just, you never know where life can lead you. So if it's really in your passion to do it, just believe in yourself just to get there. And it's still, honestly, it still happens to me a lot as an overthinker. As an overthinker, even doing a workshop, sometimes it's hard for me to like, oh, can I do this? Oh, there are people. Oh, some people know me already, and some people are new. What if they know that I'm a member of Tooth and Cans, and that this is how she performs, or this is how? So there's so many things that run in my mind, even, and that's me doing all these things, and just sometimes it's just a matter of, you know what? Let's just give it a try today. If it's not the best that I did, then there's always another day. You're still human, you're living, you're breathing, you're healthy and alive. There's so many different things, possibilities that can open up for you, and just go for it.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, that you still attend workshops and all
do.
that. I would always say that there are people who would stop attending workshops because they'd say, "Oh, I've done that already. I know that already," and they just stop. And I feel like that means you've stopped trying to learn, stop
Yeah.
growing, and all. But in fact, last weekend,
Last weekend.
you attended the All Access Pass, and you had 6
Oh.
workshops in one
Very
weekend.
intense, yeah, but
Very
very
intense.
fun.
Yes. Maybe you can share with us, why do you still attend workshops? And from that workshop last weekend, what was your best takeaway?
Yeah, so honestly, All Access Pass workshop means a lot to me because I also have another core memory there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Tell us.
So, in the first, I don't know if it was the first All Access workshop back in
That would be the
2023.
first.
Oh,
Yes,
that was the first.
So
Okay.
the one that you attended, that was like the third one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the third one
Yes,
already.
only the third one. Yeah, in 3 years, I think. Yes.
Yeah, so the first one, okay, so I got to attend the very first
Yes,
type of
you
All
did.
Access Pass.
Yes.
And from that, it was also, my goodness, my core memory was it was fun and chaotic, confusing, but so much learnings. But then my very key takeaway was that after all of that happened, after the workshop itself, there was a time, because when you do a workshop, you actually, you're with other people. You're not there
Yes.
solo. So you do get to connect with all these people, with all these different lives, whatever they're doing. So that's what happened in my first theater all access workshop. We got together after the very last class, and we ate together in I think the canteen.
You're talking about your, how do you call that? It's workshop mates, your classmates.
Yes, classmates in
Yes,
workshop
uh-huh.
when we had our workshop in Central Block. So we went to the food court and we
yes.
just talked. We just talked to each other, and then from there we actually made a GC. We're like, guys, because all access is just what 2-3 days, and it's not enough for you to like know more about a person. But that time we were like, guys, let's make a GC and let's stay connected.
And are you still connected?
Yes, those very people who are in that group chat, the most active ones, yes, we are very close to this day. And we,
Wow.
even if we've chosen like different kinds of performances or joined different groups, we still, when we can, we make it a point to like support them.
So the GC is still active.
It is. Let me shout out to
Yes,
these
yes.
important people in my life, of
Wow.
course.
Yeah. The word there, important. Yes.
Yes,
Has to
number
be there.
one, Shanice, who's watching right now.
Oh, thank you, Shanice.
Shanice,
Yes,
and-
very supportive. Always supportive.
And we also have Grant. Grant
Grant.
is there. Grant Bacaltos. Luis Ladera.
Oh my
and
God! You know what? I'm just
Lenny.
realizing. Oh yeah, this is like the first group of all access pass
Yeah.
students that we had
Yeah,
3 years ago.
three of us joined Rebels and Revelry. So that was me,
Yes.
Shanice, and Luis.
And then there was that gap. So we had the all access pass workshop,
Like
and
a few
then
months
you.
after, yeah.
Yes.
So that's where I met Grant and Lenny.
Yeah, yes, that's so true. Lenny was in the all access pass.
Yes.
Lenny Lanyohan.
Yes.
Yes.
So to this day, our group is still active.
In fact, Shanice wants to mention, in case you forgot them, but no, she did not forget Grant Bacaltos and Lenny Lanyohan, but she's also mentioned Luis Colin Ladera.
Yes.
So, but Luis, I think, was your classmate in musical theater
Yes,
during
and
that
Rebels.
summer. Yes,
And Rebels and Revelry.
Rebels and Revelry. So, what I noticed is that when I ask you about like experiences, core memories, you always mention the people. It's always about the people that you were with.
Yes, it's always the connection that you form. Like in life, again, no man's an island. Like, may it be in medicine, may it be in theater, the arts, and community work. You can't just do it yourself. I mean, maybe you can to a certain extent, but that is not just a lonely life, but also very exhausting, and it's impossible to sustain a life like that. So, connection is super important.
And I think
Yeah.
for some, one may be afraid because they feel that they're on their own, they're alone. And it could be like, yeah, you attend a workshop and you might not know anybody.
Which is always usually the case. You attend a workshop just by yourself. You took the very
Yes.
first brave step to join that, but also you're scared because who are these people? You don't know if they're very
It's like being
good.
in high school again or in grade
yes.
school, and that's the
first
first day
hi,
of
and
school.
oh no, you don't know
Yes,
anyone.
yes. But then, if you skip that, you won't have had these great connections.
Yeah, and also these opportunities that that may happen.
So true. And that's why it's just take that first step. A step, just don't worry about
What comes after?
what comes after. Yeah,
You never know. Just do it and then play it by ear and just go with the flow.
Just
See
quit
what happens.
tomorrow.
Just quit tomorrow.
When tomorrow comes, just say it again. And I'm so glad that you took that big step, that step and all those. And I'm so glad that you're still close with your classmates back then. And I'm actually happy to know that. It's like, all these connections. For us at Tutankamps, we won't really know unless someone would say, like, for example, that's how you met and you've continued to have that connection. And we would always think that the experience is focused on performances and all that, but the greater thing is really being able to find friends for life.
Find the
even.
community.
And the
yes,
community,
where you
yes.
belong.
Again, when we're talking about community building, it doesn't have to be community that you build and help, out there. It can be just really finding a small group that you can influence, and whether it be about performing, it can be a particular belief, not talking about religion, talking
Yeah.
about, all the things that we would like to share in terms of making this world a much better place. So, if you're still in doubt, I think the more you have to do it when you have the doubt and you're scared and all that.
Yeah, if the feeling is so great, like no matter what feeling, excitement or maybe it's being afraid, if you're having a strong feeling toward it, give it a try. Especially if it's something that's always been in your heart and in the back of your mind.
Yeah, that's so true. And thank you for sharing that, Judy. I mean, sometimes we forget about this on our end, being the the one giving the workshop. We don't really know sometimes what happens after. But these are
Yeah.
like, this is like one of the best stories there is, because performances, performing and all that, you can keep on improving, you can keep at getting better, but the connections that you've formed, the friendships, the people that you've found, your people,
Yeah.
your tribe, it's like that's difficult.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all the time, and for some it only happens once in a lifetime.
Mm.
you know so I'm so glad that you shared that. In the meantime, shout out to Tyron Ramos. Hi, Tyron. Thanks for listening. And hi to Chelson Brielle Ocampo. Thank you so much. And then, of course, a lot of reply to Shanice's comments from Luis. It's just yes,
Yes.
with lots of ace. So is it supposed to be a long
Oh, it's
yes?
Oh,
Is
that should be part of the workshop.
yeah.
How to say the word yes.
Yeah, what key? There. Well, I think there's so many things to talk about when it comes to healing, because as I said, and for you being the doctor and the artist and the community builder, there's so many aspects to it. But now you've shared about your experience and how that workshop has brought about, after that workshop you found people and all. Maybe I'd like to know, like, with all the communities that you've helped, and all that, what do you think was something that you found out that happened after that that really touched you, you know?
Yeah, so a lot of theater and the arts is really about knowing how to express yourself and stand up for yourself. And that's always something that I see myself in the workshop, whether it be a workshop I joined or the workshop in the community. The kids are just able to be like, yeah, so this is what I think of this, and this is how I view things, this is what I feel, and someone else feels the same way or different. And just being able to, it's not easy, I think, especially in our country. Like growing up in kind of like, how do you explain that, like maybe a strict household or conservative, sometimes you're not able to, or you don't know how to speak up or express yourself, because we're very we take consideration the authorities that are above us. But in theater, the arts, you're given that platform. Like, yeah, that's what you know. That may be what you know in your household, but here, this is a safe space. You can say what you think, and it's all correct. There's no right or wrong way, and that's so important. Like, just the fact that you can express yourself, it gives you the ability to know that, or the strength to believe in yourself. That it's so big. Like, the impact goes beyond just the workshop.
And I guess that's also what you have given to, like, some of the workshops you've given, like the NAPO, which we were talking about earlier, the children there. Obviously, you would have brought them and gifted them with that experience and feeling of confidence. And again, being able to express. And yes, that's so true. And many Filipino households and Asian families, you always have to say yes. And you always have to just keep it in, and you cannot. It's like raising an issue would be talking back to your elders, or even as much as asking a question.
Yeah, and they're right also in a way that it's bad. It could be bad to talk back, but if you're able to express yourself in a way that doesn't seem that doesn't need to come off too strong or too angry, too angry, just being able to emotionally regulate yourself, to be able to say and communicate what you really feel, it's different, and it's healing, not just for you but also your parents or someone older than you would understand.
And I think for now, with the generation now, that's also slowly changing, and families are much more open. But you still
Yes.
have the households wherein parents are authority. You're not allowed to say anything. You cannot be against anything in all of that. And I guess that's why being in a workshop can be freeing, because our number one rule is that you are allowed to make mistakes. This is the place to make mistakes. So if you think about it, you don't really have to think about what other people are thinking or saying about what you're doing, because it doesn't matter. You are allowed to make mistakes. You don't have to be perfect. And that can be so freeing to know that you don't have the pressure of perfection. You don't have the pressure of having to make it right, do it right. And then it becomes a fun environment. And I think that's also what makes it fun for children, being able to express and not have to worry that they'll be told off after,
Yeah.
and I hope that you would be doing more workshops like
Hopefully,
that.
yes, I
Yes,
hope
and
to.
similar activities.
Yeah.
But you obviously have something happening this weekend.
Oh yeah. We do have something this weekend. JCI Zugbuana has a weekend market or bazaar. So we have, what do you call this? Booths and merchants in the activity center, level 3 of Central Block, for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so since it's Women's Month, obviously, JCI Zugbuana, for those who don't know, we are an all-women non-government organization. And to culminate Women's Month, we have what we call Made by Her Market. So it's all about women businesses. So all these merchants are owned by women. Um, Also, we have speakers. We have activities on day one. We have Tooth and Cans. Tooth and Cans will be performing for opening night on World Theater Day. That's March 27th.
Tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
That's
World
tomorrow.
Theater Day.
Yes.
Yes.
And then on Saturday we have talks from inspiring women of Cebu, and so many.
Let us know who they are, and tell us more about this activity.
So on Saturday, aside from the market or the booths that are there from mall opening and closing, we invited guest speakers to talk about basically uh, their expertise. So I know we have 5 speakers. Let me see. There is Kimberly Burden Gothong. I think she's quite, because she's also active both in, honestly, medicine and business, and
Yes.
also in community work. Miss Kim Burden Gothong will be there. Miss Nina Olala, for those who don't know her, she's trending right now because she's super funny, and she's actually herself a businesswoman. Who else? We have Pearl Hong, we have Trisha Martinez, and our very own from Zubuana, Yana Pajes. So all these are all women who are like advocates of different things and what they believe in. So it's gonna be interesting, and I think it will also open up important talks and conversations. The project is called Conversations. So especially if you're a woman, it would be great for you. Conversations, yes.
So you've added an H.
HER, yes. Conversations especially to help women who may be inclined to one field or another. And so we have the experts in those fields. And again, hopefully it will make a change and inspire people.
It's funny to think that you, with the activities that you had lined up, we're actually doing 2 celebrations at the same time. So one is the World Theater Day, which is tomorrow. And then you also have the Earth Hour.
Oh yes,
the
Earth
next
Hour.
day.
The next day. Mm-hmm. We have that as part of our program as well. 'Cause I believe almost all, maybe malls in Cebu would like turn off the power for an hour.
For 1 hour.
For 1 hour.
And so for everyone who's listening, if you'd like to be part of the Earth Hour, which is on Saturday, am I
Yes,
right?
on
That's
Saturday at
on
8
Saturday
p.m.
at 8 p.m. Let's switch off all our lights or stop, using electricity for an hour.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, be part of the Earth Hour. But with the activity of Tutankhamun's, that's tomorrow already.
Yes, it's tomorrow.
It's called Her Story Open Mic Night. What does this mean?
Oh,
Are we able
yes.
to invite people to
We
go
are, yeah.
and sing along?
Actually, yes. So Tutankhamun's is just opening the open mic night. So
Yes,
they gave
okay.
us the slot and the privilege to open that for them. And then yeah, so open mic is kind of like anyone can sing, anyone who wants to sing, that is already your platform.
That's
Hopefully,
it.
yeah.
No requirement.
No
Do they have to
requirements.
be a woman to be part of this?
No.
Oh, so
Definitely not.
anyone,
Anyone.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. So, for those who have been waiting to perform in front of a live audience, be part of the Her Story Open Mic Night, that's tomorrow
That's
at the Central
tomorrow.
Block
Yes, it starts at
Activity Center.
7.
7 o'clock. There, just go to the Activity Center, which is on the
Level 3.
third
Yeah, the
floor
one with the
of
stage.
the
And,
Ayala
yeah.
Mall Central Block. That's at the IT Park. Yes. And I guess this is like almost like the end. Well, almost the end. What?
Almost the end.
Yeah, well, anyway, I have to ask you the question to which this show has been built. And basically, I just want to know what you're currently building or dreaming about, what excites you the most about what's ahead. Basically, Judy, what is up next?
What is up next? I think I remember. I think one of the times that we've had to make like a caption about a memory with Tutankhamun's, and I remember I wrote in the caption na, um, like you never know my next move because I myself do not know my next move.
Yes.
And it's always been the same because I'm always saying yes to opportunities that land, and if I can do it and find a way to make an excuse to do that opportunity, then I will do it. So whatever is in my heart, well, obviously, yes, I continue to advocate for the arts, theater, community work. I'm still doing that, not just this weekend, but the rest of my life, basically, being part of this. And yeah, what's up next? We don't know. Maybe you'll hear me on the radio.
Oh, who knows? I'd be happy to hear more of you and your sharings and all that. They're really insightful, and I hope that there would be more doctors who would
Yeah.
also pursue the arts. And those who think that just because you've chosen one path that you cannot do the other.
Yeah.
Judy is a great example that you can have it all.
You can try to have it all.
You can try at
You will
least.
definitely struggle, but if it makes you happy, then do
Then
it.
it's worth it.
Then it's worth
Yes.
it in the end.
Yes. So thank you so much, Judy. That's Dr. Judy Crisel Ralios with us here up next. Thank you so much for today. And but I'd like to leave everyone with a few thoughts before we end today's conversation. We're reminded that sometimes we think our role in the world is very simple. We think we are only one thing: a doctor, a teacher, an artist, a business owner, a student, a parent, a leader. But we are never just one thing, and we are combinations of our skills, passions, experiences, the communities that shaped us. Sometimes the most meaningful things we do in life happen not in our job descriptions, not in our titles, not in the things we are paid to do, but in the things we choose to do because we care. Community building is not an easy work, it is slow work. It is often invisible work. Sometimes you do not see the results immediately. Sometimes people do not even realize how much effort goes into building spaces where people feel safe, heard, and valued. But communities change life. A community can give someone confidence, opportunities, friends, mentors, direction. A community can change the way a person sees themselves and their future. Very often, communities are built not by big institutions or big programs, but by people who care enough to start something, to gather people together, to create spaces where others can grow. Sometimes that space can be in a classroom, a rehearsal room, a clinic, a stage. Sometimes that space is just a group of people who decide to work together for something bigger than themselves. And that is why I believe that art is very powerful in communities. When people create something together, a play, a song, performances, workshops, programs, they learn more than just artistic skills. They learn discipline, teamwork, leadership, empathy. They learn how to listen, how to express themselves. They learn how to support each other. They learn how to fail and try again. And they learn how to stand in front of people and say, "This is me. This is what I have to offer." And those are life skills. Those are leadership skills, community building skills. Those are human skills. Sometimes theater and music are not really about theater and music. It's about confidence, belonging, healing. Sometimes they are about giving people a place where they feel they matter. And I think the world needs more people who understand that their work is not just about themselves. The world needs more people who use their profession, their talents, their education, and their influence to build communities, to mentor others, to create opportunities, and to leave something behind that will continue even when they are no longer there. At the end of the day, I believe we will not be remembered only for our titles. We will be remembered for the people we helped, the communities we built, the opportunities we created, the stories we helped tell, the confidence we helped build, the lives we quietly changed. And maybe that is what success really means. Not how high you climbed, but how many people you brought with you. Not just what you achieved, but what you built for others. Not just what you earned, but what you gave. So wherever you are right now, an artist, a student, a professional, a volunteer, or someone still trying to figure things out, remember that you do not have to change the whole world. Sometimes changing one person's life is already a big thing. Starting a small community is already a big thing. Mentoring one person is already a big thing. Creating one safe space where people can grow is already a big thing. You don't have to be famous or rich. You don't have to be the best, but you can be someone who builds, someone who helps, who creates spaces, and someone who brings people together. You can be someone who makes other people believe that they can do more and become more. And if more people choose to live like that, I think our communities, our cities, and our world will be a much better place. And as we end today's episode, we are also closing our Women's Month series here on Up Next. And over the past episodes, we have spoken to women from different fields. What is beautiful is that although their professions are different, their stories are similar in one way. They are all builders. They build careers, they build families, they build communities, they build opportunities for other people. They build spaces where others can grow, learn, and become better versions of themselves. And maybe that is something worth celebrating this Women's Month, not just achievements, but the quiet, consistent work that women do every single day to build people, build communities, and build a better future. Women's Month is not only about celebrating strong women, we're also celebrating kind women, brave, creative, supportive, women who lead, serve, build, women who make space for others to grow. And I feel very grateful that this Women's Month we were able to talk to women who are not only successful in their fields, but are also using their work to help other people and build communities. This has been Up Next, your weekly ritual for the arts, culture, theater, and shared stories about who we are and who we are becoming. Thank you for being with us throughout our Women's Month series. I'm Sarah Henderson, and I will see you in the next conversation. Don't worry, the story is never finished. There is always something up next.